I've spent 20 years well, almost 20 years in consumer products, both on the investing side as well as the operations side. But it's the opportunity here at Manitree to truly make an impact to human health that is so near and dear to me. I have a personal passion and curiosity around health and nutrition. There's probably not a functional health book I haven't read. My husband likes to joke I'm not a nutritionist, but I like to play one at home, much to the chagrin of my children. But Manitree affords the opportunity to really take my skill set and apply it in an area where I really have a true passion, and Evolve represents that exactly. Evolve is going to provide what we believe is a very strong return for our investors, but the social impact of Evolve success is even more meaningful to what it can do for reversing some of these modern day issues we see in our newborns. So, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Pam. No, and I'm curious, can you share a little bit about what you'll highlight in the course of your comments today, and then we can go from there?
Sure. The highlight here for Manitree is we want to invest in food and nutrition companies that improve human health and support longevity, where we are not just living long, but living long well. And before we all leave this roundtable, I really hope we're able to convey two things. The first is Manitree's opportunity to truly make a substantial impact to human health. And through our very continuous research, very highly disciplined investment process, we will deliver exceptional returns to our investors. It's truly the best of both worlds.
That's great. And Pam, you get to take full credit for being at the forefront of understanding some of the themes and categories that are interesting and really solidifying in our industry. So I'll pull up a screen to support your comments, but could you share with us some of the themes that you're seeing both in our deal flow and in the research that you're excited about?
Absolutely. But before we dive into themes, I just want to touch on the stage. So we're seeking growth stage opportunities, which is defined as companies with enterprise values above 75 million or with revenues above 25 million in the two primary verticals that Ross described earlier, food production and consumer products. And within those verticals, there are a few themes we are actively pursuing. The first, as the slide is showing here, is personalized nutrition. This is adapting food and nutrition to individual needs. These companies often have foundations rooted in science, and this category includes both food and supplements. Our most recent investment, Evolve Biosystems, is a great example of personalized nutrition. It's providing a science-backed infant-specific probiotic that has been clinically proven to restore an infant's gut microbiome. Next is food manufacturing and supply chain innovation. And while this might seem odd in a food portfolio, these are contract manufacturers dedicated to the better for you space in food and beverage. There is simply a shortage of food manufacturers that focus on better for you, and it is needed in order to continue to scale in this sector. And we're also looking for distribution innovations that really bring this healthier food directly to the consumer. Another theme that we have executed on in a couple different ways is clean protein. Clean protein includes both clean plant-based proteins like Nutriati, our chickpea ingredient company, or clean animal proteins, as illustrated in our investments in Vital Farms and Verity Farms. The critical component here is clean. We are seeking proteins that have a clean and fully transparent supply chain, often with a direct consumer brand. Ross referenced Vital earlier, and this is really a great example of this. The company partners with hundreds of family farms to bring pasture-raised eggs directly to the consumer in a beautifully packaged, well-communicated product on the shelf that really draws the consumer in. Functional beverage is another theme that we really have taken a close look at. As the beverage category continues to evolve from sugary sodas to sparkling water, consumers are looking for beverages that provide true functional benefits beyond just taste. Fermented beverages and adaptogenic beverages are two examples of functional beverage trends where we have reviewed multiple opportunities. And last but certainly not least is nutrient-dense food. This ranges from improving the ingredient profile to enhancing the nutrient density of food through plant-based ingredients, such as our investments in Nutriati and Mycotechnologies, or consumer food companies that are really focusing on ensuring nutrient-rich, very clean ingredients on their label. And Adriana, you know, we love deal referrals. And if anyone attending this roundtable sees any opportunities in this category, please feel free to send them our way.
You gotta love that we don't miss an opportunity to ask for that. Pam, thank you. And I think what would be great to dive into is with some of these categories that we're seeing in our deal flow, how do we think about our due diligence? How do we evaluate companies? Again, I'll pull up a slide to support your statement, but if you could walk us through the process that you and your team lead, that would be great.
Sure. When we're when we are evaluating our investment opportunities, we have a very thorough, rigorous process that focuses on 5 key areas. First and foremost is people and human capital. Great management teams create amazing things. We spend a lot of time getting to know the leadership team to understand how they think, what support they will need, and to also lay the foundation for a strong relationship post-investment. More times than not, it is the lack of belief in management that will ultimately lead to us declining an opportunity. There is magic in a good management team, and this doesn't mean there is a superstar. It just means the right people have come together and are very unified in their desire and ability to execute. You know, over the last 18 years, I have met with and been a part of a very special management team. And there's something almost tangible, something you can feel when you see the right combination of talent coming together. During our diligence process in Gotham Greens, for example, which is our greenhouse produced leafy greens company, Brett and I traveled to Chicago to spend time with the team. It was clear when we were in the room with this team that they had this camaraderie and desire to really build something great and very special that makes them highly backable as an investor. You know, next second to people is certainly financial metrics. You know, over the course of my career, I've evaluated hundreds of investment opportunities, both from the sell side and the buy side. From this experience, the most important metric to validate, is valuation, and specifically multiple expansion between the entry valuation and the exit valuation. Yes, we validate market size. We stress test all key assumptions, which revenue growth, gross margin expansion, operating costs. We closely analyze the balance sheet to understand cash run rate, debt capacity, and working capital. But for Manatry, when we see an opportunity where we can apply our skill set to strengthen the company's position in the marketplace, this will create this multiple expansion that will generate outsized returns. You know, next in our process is the customer. You know, we closely evaluate a company's customers, looking for customer diversification, understanding customer concentrations. We closely study sell-through data via Spins and Nielsen to see trends in existing retailers and where there is opportunities for customers, and even more important for customer expansion, and even more important for channel expansion. So moving from the natural channel, like a Whole Foods here in the United States, to the conventional channel, like a Kroger, or even to mass, like Target, or club, like Costco. We certainly talk to the company's customers to understand their perspective and get a sense for the strength of the relationship. You know, again, I'll use Gotham Greens here as a good example. Gotham has a unique relationship with Whole Foods, whereby Whole Foods has a contract with Gotham to buy a percentage of the produce produced within Gotham's various greenhouses. And we really needed to understand the strength of this relationship. And we had a long conversation with the executive leader of produce at Whole Foods to gain comfort that this will continue. And you know, it is crucial we gain confidence in companies' ability to both retain and expand with existing customers and extend to additional customers. You know, next is products, and the product evaluation is really multifaceted. It includes an analysis from several angles: supply chain validation, product evaluation, and the consumer perspective. You know, the first is ensuring the company has a fully transparent supply chain. We keep hearing that trend, how important this is to our investment process. And we want the company to be able to trace its products or product ingredients back to the source. I'll use Nutriati as an example here. There is a rigorous process to validate the quality of the chickpeas used in Nutriati's processing that ensures beneficial agricultural practices and the right nutrient profile for the chickpeas. You know, we talked about, product evaluation themselves. We evaluate competitive strengths and weaknesses of the product position in the marketplace. We look at what's next. You know, we look at product development, what's next for this company, and we evaluate the consumer perception of the product and how the company markets and communicates to the consumer. Last but not least, in our evaluation is the nutrition impact of a product. We have a very unique partnership with the Tufts Friedman's Food and Nutrition Innovation Institute and their Food Compass that provides an independent assessment of the health of a product. While not always necessary, like in the case of Gotham greens, leafy greens are inherently healthy, or Vital Farms where you have a single ingredient, this independent analysis removes opinion and provides validation to the health of a product as it aligns with our investment thesis of improving human health. And underlying this entire evaluation is a continuous focus on exit optionality that I know Brent will touch on.